the longevity supplements that could add 20 years to your life. The immortality drugs. Hiding in plain sight. What if I told you that 3 compounds readily available today could add 20 to 30 years to your lifespan? What if billionaires and tech moguls are already using these longevity drugs while the general public remains completely unaware? What if the key to dramatically extending human life isn't locked away in some secret laboratory, but sitting on pharmacy shelves right now? Here's the mind-blowing reality. Silicon Valley executives, anti-aging researchers, and biohackers worldwide are quietly experimenting with 3 specific compounds that don't just promise to extend life. They're actually doing it in laboratory studies. We're talking about adding decades, not years. We're talking about reversing cellular aging, not just slowing it down. The compounds, Resveratrol, the red wine molecule that activated global longevity research. Metformin, a diabetes drug that might be the most powerful anti-aging medication ever discovered. And Rapamycin, an immune suppressant that's making old mice live 40% longer while staying young. But here's what's truly shocking. While these compounds show extraordinary promise in research, they come with risks, contradictions, and complexities that the longevity industry doesn't want you to know about. The devil is in the details, and those details could mean the difference between adding decades to your life or cutting it short. In the next 36 minutes, we're going deep into the cutting-edge science of longevity supplementation. You'll discover the mechanisms that could theoretically make you live to 120. The dark side that researchers whisper about behind closed doors. And the brutal truth about who should and shouldn't be experimenting with these compounds. Critical medical disclaimer. This content is for educational and informational purposes only, and is not intended as medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment recommendation. The compounds discussed are either prescription medications or supplements with significant biological effects and potential risks. Longevity research involves experimental treatments with unknown long-term consequences. Always consult with qualified healthcare professionals, including physicians specializing in longevity medicine, endocrinologists, or clinical pharmacologists before considering any supplementation regimen. Individual responses to these compounds vary greatly and can include serious adverse effects. Never use prescription medications without proper medical supervision. The Resveratrol revolution, the red wine paradox. Let us start with the compound that launched the modern longevity movement and created a billion-dollar industry built on a single, shocking observation. The French paradox discovery. In the 1990s, researchers noticed something impossible. French populations consumed high-fat diets, but had low heart disease rates. Red wine consumption correlated with increased longevity. Certain regions of France showed remarkable centenarian populations. The correlation pointed to one compound, resveratrol. The cellular youth switch. Resveratrol research uncovered its ability to activate a remarkable biological mechanism. It triggers SIRT1, often called the longevity gene, which plays a central role in regulating cellular aging. It also stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis, essentially prompting cells to generate new energy-producing powerhouses. mimics the beneficial effects of caloric restriction by signaling to cells as if they're in a state of mild starvation, and enhances DNA repair, helping to fix the genetic damage that accumulates with age. The laboratory miracles. Animal studies produced results so impressive they seemed almost unbelievable. Resveratrol extended lifespan by up to 30% in yeast and worms, improved cardiovascular health in obese mice, enhanced insulin sensitivity and glucose metabolism, protected the brain from age-related cognitive decline, and even demonstrated cancer-preventive effects across multiple animal models, fueling excitement about its potential to slow aging in humans. The human reality check. But when tested in humans, the picture became far more complicated. Resveratrol suffers from a major bioavailability problem. Over 99% of the oral dose is broken down and destroyed by the liver before it can take effect. This means extremely high doses, often 1,000 milligrams or more per day, are needed to achieve potentially meaningful levels in the bloodstream. Clinical studies have yielded inconsistent results, with some showing modest benefits and others finding no effect at all. Additionally, genetic differences between individuals appear to influence how people respond, making outcomes highly variable. The dark side research. More recent studies have revealed troubling downsides. High-dose resveratrol may actually interfere with the health benefits of exercise, blunting improvements in cardiovascular fitness and insulin sensitivity. There are also concerns about hormone disruption at supplemental doses, particularly in relation to estrogen pathways. Resveratrol can interact dangerously with blood thinners like warfarin and medications for diabetes, increasing the risk of complications. Furthermore, quality control in over-the-counter supplements is a major issue. Many contain little to no active resveratrol, despite their labels. The billionaire bet. Despite the mixed and uncertain human data, prominent figures, particularly in the tech and science communities, continue to experiment. Dr. David Sinclair of Harvard, a leading advocate, takes 1,000 milligrams of resveratrol daily, often with yogurt to improve absorption. Silicon Valley executives are using pharmaceutical-grade, highly purified formulations, combining resveratrol with other longevity compounds in personalized regimens, and tracking biomarkers to assess its effects on their individual health, betting on future science to validate what current evidence has yet to fully support. The shocking truth: resveratrol might work, but only if you're taking pharmaceutical doses. Combining it correctly and monitoring biomarkers most people never test. Metformin, the diabetes drug that stops aging. Now we enter truly controversial territory with a prescription diabetes medication that might be the most powerful anti-aging drug on Earth. The accidental discovery. Researchers made a surprising observation. Diabetics taking metformin were experiencing extraordinary health benefits beyond blood sugar control. They had lower cancer rates than non-diabetics. Even those without diabetes reduced incidence of cardiovascular disease, and, remarkably, lived longer than healthy individuals not on the drug. They also showed slower cognitive decline and a significantly lower risk of dementia. suggesting metformin might be doing far more than managing diabetes. The cellular mechanism breakdown. Metformin influences multiple biological pathways linked to longevity. It activates AMPK, the cellular energy sensor that promotes survival during metabolic stress and extends lifespan. It inhibits mTOR, a key driver of aging-related cellular growth. The drug also improves mitochondrial function, boosting cellular energy production, reduces chronic inflammation associated with aging, and enhances autophagy, the body's essential process of clearing out damaged cells and recycling cellular components, the TAME trial shock. In an unprecedented move, the FDA approved the first clinical trial designed to test an anti-aging drug, the Targeting Aging with Metformin TAME study. This landmark trial will enroll 3,000 older adults to investigate whether metformin can delay the onset of multiple age-related diseases like cancer, heart disease, and cognitive decline at the same time. If successful, it could redefine aging as a treatable medical condition and has already spurred pharmaceutical companies to invest billions in aging research based on early promising data. The human evidence. Large population studies have revealed striking correlations among metformin users. These individuals experience a 40% reduction in cancer mortality, a 35% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, and a 20% decrease in all-cause mortality compared to those taking other diabetes medications. Perhaps most astonishingly, their cognitive function appears preserved to a degree equivalent to being 10 years younger, highlighting metformin's potential as a broad-spectrum anti-aging therapy. The mechanism mystery. Despite decades of use, scientists still don't fully understand how metformin produces these wide-ranging effects. It appears to influence multiple cellular pathways simultaneously, and its impact may extend beyond direct cellular actions. Metformin alters the gut microbiome in ways that improve systemic health, induces epigenetic changes that modify gene expression, and interacts in complex ways with other medications and supplements, making its full mechanism of action a subject of ongoing research. The off-label explosion. Metformin is now being quietly prescribed for longevity by forward-thinking doctors. Some use pre-diabetes diagnoses as a way to justify prescriptions for at-risk patients, while anti-aging clinics openly offer metformin-based protocols. Biohacker communities actively share dosing strategies online, and many people are turning to international online pharmacies to access the drug, fueling a growing, largely unregulated trend in preventive longevity medicine. The dangerous reality. Despite its reputation as a safe and well-tolerated drug, metformin is not without serious risks. A rare but potentially fatal condition called lactic acidosis can occur, especially in those with kidney impairment. Long-term use is associated with vitamin B12 deficiency, which can lead to neurological and hematological complications. About 25% of users experience gastrointestinal side effects like nausea, diarrhea, and abdominal discomfort. Regular kidney function monitoring is required, and the drug can interact dangerously with contrast dyes used in imaging and other common medications. The access problem. Longevity medicine faces a fundamental catch-22. healthy individuals who want to prevent aging cannot legally access prescription drugs like metformin for that purpose. Doctors who prescribe them off-label for aging risk, professional and legal liability. As a result, underground markets have emerged, selling unregulated versions of longevity drugs, while others resort to medical tourism, traveling across borders to access clinics offering longevity protocols unavailable in their home countries. This growing demand highlights the urgent need for clearer regulations and ethical frameworks in the field of aging intervention. Rapamycin, the immortality drug with a dark secret. Welcome to the most controversial compound in longevity research. A drug so powerful it can extend life by 40%, but so dangerous it could kill you in the process. The fountain of youth discovery. Rapamycin was discovered in one of the most unlikely places on Easter Island, Rapa Nui, where it was isolated from soil bacteria. Originally developed as an antifungal medication, it was later repurposed as an immune suppressant for organ transplant patients. By accident, scientists discovered it could dramatically extend lifespan in every species tested, sparking intense interest in its potential as a longevity drug. The universal life extension, Rapamycin, has produced astonishing results across a wide range of organisms. In mice, it extends lifespan by up to 40% equivalent to humans living to 120 years, while delaying the onset of age-related diseases in multiple organ systems. Studies show it improves cognitive function in aging animals, enhances immune system performance despite being an immunosuppressant, and even reverses age-related muscle loss and weakness. The mTOR target. The secret behind rapamycin's effects lies in its ability to inhibit the mechanistic target of rapamycin mTOR, a key cellular pathway that regulates growth, proliferation, and metabolism. When mTOR is overactive, it accelerates aging through multiple mechanisms. Rapamycin induces a state of controlled cellular stress that activates repair processes and promotes longevity. Intermittent inhibition of mTOR appears to strike a balance between cellular growth and long-term survival. The human experiments. Today, brave researchers and biohackers are testing rapamycin on themselves. Dr. Matt Keberlein, a leading aging researcher, takes rapamycin cyclically rather than daily. Executives in Silicon Valley are experimenting with pulse dosing protocols, while anti-aging clinics offer supervised rapamycin therapy. Participants closely track biomarkers to monitor both potential benefits and side effects. The terrifying risks. Despite its promise, rapamycin is a powerful immune suppressant with serious risks. Users may become more susceptible to infections, including dangerous opportunistic pathogens, and may experience impaired wound healing and surgical complications. There is also concern that long-term immune suppression could increase cancer risk. Common side effects include mouth sores, skin issues, gastrointestinal problems, and potentially dangerous interactions with other medications and supplements. The dosing dilemma. The line between benefit and harm with rapamycin is razor thin. While transplant patients take 2 to 15 milligrams daily for immune suppression, proposed longevity doses are much lower, around 5 to 10 milligrams weekly. However, individual responses vary widely, making standardized dosing impossible. Biomarker monitoring is essential to tailor treatment, but such testing is expensive, and the long-term effects of rapamycin in otherwise healthy people remain completely unknown. The regulatory nightmare. Rapamycin exists in a legal gray area. It is FDA approved only for specific medical conditions, and prescribing it off-label for longevity purposes sits on shaky legal ground. Some desperate biohackers resort to using veterinary formulations, while others obtain the drug from international pharmacies, raising serious concerns about purity and quality. The research revolution. Despite the risks and regulatory challenges, scientific interest in rapamycin is accelerating. The National Institute on Aging is funding large-scale studies, and researchers are exploring combination therapies with other longevity compounds. New intermittent dosing strategies aim to reduce side effects, and efforts are underway to develop reliable biomarkers that could enable personalized, safe, and effective rapamycin protocols for healthy aging. The shocking reality: rapamycin might be the closest thing to a real anti-aging drug we have, but using it could be gambling with your life. The combination protocols. What the 1% are actually doing. Here's where the story gets truly wild. The ultra-wealthy aren't just taking one longevity compound. They're combining multiple substances in sophisticated protocols that cost more than most people's annual salaries. 1. The longevity stack revolution. Billionaire biohackers are creating personalized protocols, with Brian Johnson's blueprint costing $2 million annually on longevity interventions, utilizing multi-compound synergies targeting different aging pathways. Biomarker-guided dosing with monthly blood panels and AI-optimized protocols based on individual responses. 2. The synergistic combinations. Research reveals compound interactions, including resveratrol combined with metformin for enhanced AMPK activation and mitochondrial function, rapamycin with metformin for balanced mTOR inhibition with metabolic benefits. All three compounds together targeting aging through multiple mechanisms simultaneously, and cycling protocols that rotate compounds to prevent tolerance and side effects. 3. The biomarker revolution. Wealthy individuals track over 100 health markers. Through epigenetic age testing using DNA methylation clocks, mitochondrial function assessments, inflammatory marker panels, cellular senescence measurements, cardiovascular aging indicators, and cognitive function batteries. 4. The personalization protocols. What the 1% understand about individual variation includes genetic testing for drug metabolism variants, microbiome analysis for absorption optimization, hormone panels for interaction assessment, liver function monitoring for safety, and kidney function evaluation for clearance. 5. The lifestyle integration. Longevity compounds work best within comprehensive protocols that include intermittent fasting to enhance cellular autophagy, exercise regimens optimized for longevity pathways, sleep optimization for growth hormone and recovery, stress management for cortisol and inflammation control, and social connection for psychological longevity factors. 6. The cost reality. True longevity medicine is extraordinarily expensive, with monthly biomarker testing costing $500 to $2,000. Pharmaceutical-grade compounds running $200 to $500 monthly. Medical supervision and consultation ranging $300 to $1,000 monthly, and total protocols costing $12,000, $50,000 annually. 7. The access inequality. Longevity medicine creates a new form of inequality where wealthy individuals gain 10 to 20-year lifespan advantages. Health span improvements compound over time. Cognitive preservation maintains earning capacity longer, and physical vitality extends productive years. The dark side, they don't tell you. Before you rush to order these compounds, here are the brutal realities that longevity influencers conveniently ignore. 1. The human guinea pig problem. Current longevity enthusiasts are conducting uncontrolled human experiments with no long-term safety data for healthy individuals. Unknown interactions between multiple compounds, individual genetic variations that create unpredictable responses, and the potential for irreversible health consequences. 2. The regulatory Wild West. Longevity supplementation operates without oversight, with prescription medications being used off-label without medical supervision. Supplement industry quality control varying dramatically, online pharmacies providing unregulated compounds, and dosing recommendations based on animal studies or speculation. 3. The psychological trap. Longevity. Obsession can become its own form of mortality through health anxiety and biomarker obsession that reduces life quality. Social isolation from extreme health protocols, financial stress from expensive interventions, and perfectionism that prevents enjoyment of current life. 4. The opportunity cost crisis. Resources spent on unproven longevity interventions could instead be invested in proven health interventions like exercise, nutrition, and sleep, used for stress reduction and life satisfaction improvement, applied to social connections and relationship building, or directed toward meaning and purpose development. 5. The placebo problem. Longevity benefits might be psychological, stemming from enhanced self-care behaviors due to supplement commitment, improved lifestyle choices from increased health consciousness, placebo effects on subjective well-being measures, and confirmation bias in personal health assessments. 6. The industry incentives. The longevity supplement industry profits from hope and fear by generating recurring revenue from expensive ongoing protocols. Marketing that exploits death, anxiety, and aging fears. Celebrity endorsements without long-term outcome data and scientific cherry-picking to support product sales. The science-based decision framework. If you're still considering longevity supplementation after understanding the risks, here's how to approach it scientifically. The risk-benefit analysis framework. 1. Current health status assessment. This requires a comprehensive medical evaluation by a longevity-informed physician. Genetic testing for drug metabolism and longevity variants, baseline biomarker establishment across aging pathways, and risk factor identification for age-related diseases. 2. Individual risk tolerance evaluation. This involves assessing your financial capacity for long-term protocols and monitoring. Psychological readiness for potential side effects. life situation stability for consistent protocol adherence, and support system availability for medical emergencies. 3. Protocol design principles. These include starting with single compounds rather than combinations, beginning with the lowest effective doses based on research, implementing comprehensive monitoring systems, and planning discontinuation criteria for adverse effects. 4. Safety monitoring requirements. These encompass monthly blood panels during the initiation phase, quarterly comprehensive metabolic assessments, annual advanced longevity biomarker testing, and immediate medical consultation for any concerning changes. The conservative approach, for those interested but risk-averse, focus on lifestyle interventions with proven longevity benefits. Consider only compounds with established human safety data. Implement any protocols under strict medical supervision and prioritize health span over lifespan extension. The experimental approach, for those willing to accept higher risks. The experimental approach involves assembling a comprehensive medical team before beginning, undergoing a detailed, informed consent process with healthcare providers, implementing advanced biomarker monitoring that goes beyond standard medical care, and participating in legitimate research studies whenever possible. The uncomfortable truth. Here's the final, uncomfortable truth about longevity supplementation that will either inspire you to take action or convince you to focus on proven interventions. The reality check. We are currently living through the greatest longevity experiment in human history, as thousands of people around the world are self-experimenting with these compounds. Since the results won't be known for decades, early adopters may ultimately be remembered as either pioneers or cautionary tales, and the data we're gathering now will help inform and guide future generations. What we know for certain. 1. Aging is plastic. It can be slowed, potentially reversed. 2. Multiple pathways exist. Various interventions can extend healthy lifespan. 3. Individual variation is enormous. What works for one person may harm another. 4. Lifestyle factors remain crucial. No supplement replaces fundamentals. What we don't know. 1. Long-term safety in healthy humans. 2. Optimal dosing for longevity rather than disease treatment. 3. Interaction effects between compounds and with medications. 4. Individual prediction of who will benefit versus experience harm. The choice framework. Conservative path. Focus on proven lifestyle interventions while monitoring longevity research. Moderate path. Work with longevity physicians to implement low-risk protocols with intensive monitoring. Experimental path. Accept unknown risks while contributing to human longevity knowledge. Your decision matrix. Ask yourself honestly, are you optimizing known longevity factors first? Can you afford comprehensive medical monitoring? Are you psychologically prepared for unknown consequences? Do you understand you're participating in human experimentation? The meta-reality. Whether or not you choose longevity supplementation, the research is revolutionizing our understanding of aging. We're moving from accepting aging as inevitable to treating it as a disease we can cure. The community challenge. In the comments, share your current longevity practices, supplements, or lifestyle. your risk tolerance for experimental interventions, questions about specific compounds or protocols. Remember, the goal isn't just to live longer, it's to live better. Health span matters more than lifespan. And the most powerful longevity intervention might still be the simplest: exercise, nutrition, sleep, stress management, and meaningful relationships. Next week, the longevity diet: why everything you think you know about nutrition is wrong. We'll explore how centenarian populations actually eat versus what longevity gurus recommend. The future of human longevity is being written right now. Whether you're reading it or writing it is your choice. Final medical disclaimer: the compounds discussed in this video are either prescription medications or supplements with significant biological effects. This content does not constitute medical advice and should not be used as a substitute for professional medical consultation. Longevity medicine involves experimental treatments with unknown long-term consequences. Individual responses vary greatly and can include serious adverse effects. Always work with qualified healthcare professionals experienced in longevity medicine before considering any supplementation regimen. The research presented is rapidly evolving, and current understanding may change as new data emerges.